Okay, so let's see. Where did I leave off? I was about to do the auxiliary percussion in the drop. Okay, so we have an orc crash. It's same as the last one. We got an open hi-hat. And surprise, we don't have anything on it, so let's put an EQ on it. So I'm getting lucky because these samples don't have much in them anyway. But that 18K cut's important because that takes everything above that 18K takes up a lot of space. I think I'm going to pan this a little bit to the right too. So that's super subtle, so I could probably increase it a little bit. I'm blowing out my ears. Oh, nice. I got all 6 followers back. What's up? Okay, so the drum fills are fine. We already checked those out before. Okay, so now here's a crash cymbal on the offbeat. No EQ on it, so we'll continue with that. Yeah, so there's there's some frequencies in there I don't want. And let's pan this to the left because that other one's there. Not much, but just a little bit to the left. And I think one thing I'm going to do with these two is I'm actually going to mid-side these. Well, I don't need to mid-side that, I don't think, because it's mostly up above the 1, 2, 3K range. The crash cymbal, I do want to mid-side that. Just to make sure the sparkle is the only thing in that side. So we'll do that and then make sure that's got a cut on it. Okay, so this ride I think is a new element. Oh, it's the same one as before, so that's fine. Let me know if you got any questions, guys. I'm just kind of going through Mixdown. So I think this could use reverb. Not much, but just a little bit of space. Maybe we'll put down to 40. And we'll do a mid-side on this as well. The side, we're going to just pull it up like we did with the last sample, like here. And maybe that's a little bit too, oops, 18K. and maybe that's a little bit too high there. So we're going to pull that down a little more. So that's sitting on the left, right? So let's pan this a little bit. Where's that trap hat one? Let's pan that slightly to the left. So for panning, a good general rule of thumb is that you pan according to how the drummer sits. But that's a rule of thumb. You know, you're not making rock music, so you can pan them the way they want, but that's just a nice general rule. Okay, now we're back to this. I think all this is going to be the same. I think I could beat this up a little more. Let's make sure it's not too loud on the speakers. Okay, it's for some reason that clap's being turned off. I'm not sure why. So let's figure out what's going on there. Ah, okay, the speaker's off because I was gonna try to have that fix it, but that didn't work. So. Cool. Okay, so same thing as the last piece. We're going to cut them early. So track volume. Gonna make sure that that's the only thing present. And I don't think they happen again, but just in case. Oh. Hold on a second. I just lost connection to the chat. Okay, so I'm gonna, since I lost connection to the chat, I'm just gonna try to pay attention to what's going on my screen. If the chat pops up, if I miss your question, just hit me up with it again. But I'm gonna try to keep my eyes on that because my tablet just died on me. Okay, I think there's some rain in here that's causing some issues. And it's likely that's an issue in the other place too. I was going to try to avoid these just because I was going to get to those eventually, but now that it's in my head, I want to just take care of it. So that's been taken care of. I think all this other stuff should be the same. Hold on, I'll go. I'm gonna snag a charger really quick. Here you go. Listen to some music while I'm gone. Okay, I'm back. Let's see if we can snag that chat again. I got a charger now. I think these are all the same elements before, so I'm not super concerned about them. Let's see what happens here. Do they kind of brush over? Okay, that's fine. I think the rest of these are the same in this outro. Cool, I'm back in the chat. Oops, got my hat back. Okay. Okay, so then it's going to be mass processing here. I think what I want to do is... These all kind of have their own space and reverbs on them, so I don't think I need to do much to that. What I might do on it is I'm going to put a glue compressor just to kind of... There's a lot going on in there, so I'm just kind of going to use a glue compressor just to kind of slightly... pull it in. And then I am going to use... Actually, let's do an EQ on it too. Mid-side EQ. Just to ensure nothing's going too low. So here's the mid. And then the side, we're going to do similar but more drastic, or higher up in the frequency range, so like around here. And then also we're going to put that the 4 times kind of, it's not a brick wall limiter, but a brick wall-ish limiter around here. And we'll keep that at the end because I'm going to add a saturator. Just to give it some boost in loudness. Okay, so we'll wave shape it. Soft clip. And let's see, where do I want it to sit? Let's set it like 14. Okay, how's that sound in here? Okay, so I'm definitely still not hearing some of the percussion, but I have another thing that I'm going to address. I'll do that in the mids and the basses, and the vocals. I'm going to leave some room for the air of the percussion so it'll bite through more. Thank you, Splice. Oh no. Tries to save and crashes. So here's hoping it doesn't crash on me. But yeah, so what I'm talking about with the mids and the vocals and the basses is, you know, I've been cutting all my auxiliary percussion at 18,000 hertz. And for everything else, I'm going to cut it at 16,000 hertz. So it leaves some room for those to kind of sparkle on top. Okay, so wow, those synths are super loud. Let's mess with the vocals now. I'm going to actually consolidate all this. One thing I'm initially noticing is I could use some more volume on those vocals. Usually the issue I have is vocals are getting drowned out by other instruments in that kind of 1K range. But I'm not necessarily seeing that with this track, so somehow it's just fitting in. That's not usual for me. So I think with the vocals, I knew I was missing some harmonies and other parts of the track. So kind of got to check the EQ, make sure the mids and the sides are processed right, so I'm not having super lows in the mids and the highs. Especially this vocal was a DIY that I grabbed from a website. So it's might have some weird low hums and stuff that I'm not noticing. And I think it's already got a reverb in the sample itself, but I might drop a really light reverb on top of the sample just to give everything kind of a glue. And then I'll probably boost it in loudness as well. with some wave shaping. All those are fine. I'll leave those alone. Yeah, so I think by grouping it together now, I could see and consolidating, I could see where my issues are already. So I could tell this intro is quiet. So let's just raise that to 7. Yeah, so I didn't even do anything to this acapella. I just dropped it in there. Yeah, so there's definitely some low in there that I could get rid of. And then make sure this is sitting at 16K. And around the 1K range is where you hear the enunciation of the vocals. So let's boost that a little bit. And I could kind of show you. Stars. So if I do monitors. Stars fall at my feet. Keep me grounded as I reach higher than a sea. So that 1K range is kind of that's the area where humans hear really, really well. So by boosting that in the vocals, it lets you kind of hear the enunciation and the words better. And I could add a little bit of high in here because these vocals kind of they're really ambiance-y, and we kind of want them to kind of have a airy amount to them. So let's add some air. And I see, is there something there for me? Pulling back the I'm not all my life, one page at a time. I'll show you something, something tells me I know nothing at all. I've escaped. Okay, yeah, and I was gonna toss a reverb on top of this to kind of glue everything together. Is there something there for me? Stars fall at my feet. Stars fall at my feet. Keep me grounded as I reach higher than I see. Is there something there for me? Pulling back the rain. So that adds some nice presence to it. Stars fall at my feet. Keep me grounded as I reach. Is there something there for I'm not. Okay, so now I'm gonna add another EQ8 on it. And actually, I think before I do that, we're gonna do some saturator. I'm not. Actually, instead of a saturator, I think I'm going to do a compressor on it. Since they're vocals range of dynamics, and it's likely these have already been compressed because they're from an actual track and, you know, cut out. But I'm going to adjust them anyway, pull up that ratio. I'm not. All my life, one page. I'm not all my life, one page at a time. I'll show you my Okay, so let's add some volume to this sucker. Let's do like 4. Okay, I could pull it back a little bit. Let's do 3. I'm getting some ear fatigue, so we'll mix like this for a little longer, and then I'll put the headphones on. Okay, so this is what I want to duplicate. Maybe like a low. So we're going to make sure it's in the right mode, so it's warped, and we want it in Complex or Complex Pro, and then we're going to detune it by 12. And then we're going to bring that down quite a bit. Oop. And then we're going to bring this up by 12. And actually, because I think I'm going to have that come back in here. Oh no, there's already some natural harmonies in that, so that's fine. Something tells me I know nothing at all. I've escaped my capture. Okay, I was gonna do some EQing on here, so we're gonna do a little bit of, well, we're not gonna mess with the mid side. And maybe I could do some cool stuff here. So we'll bring this down to 20, and then we're going to do the detuning again. Probably do these a little higher. Yeah, and these definitely need to be EQ'd. So it sounds pretty bad by itself, but then when it's mixed in, it sounds pretty nice. And then we'll do an EQ on this. So just really want to ensure that I don't have any sub in there. So together. And then I'm not going to put a reverb on the high, but I'm going to put the same reverb on, I'm not going to put a reverb on the low, but I'm going to put the same reverb on the high. And I'm just going to turn this down a little bit. It's just kind of a little mumbly in the, a little mumble to keep it going. Okay, so that's the vocals. We'll save that, and then we'll start digging into the mids. Once again, for anyone new, I'm just doing a mix down. You have any questions as I'm going through stuff, wondering why I'm doing something, just hit me up in the chat. And thanks for tuning in. So this is where a lot of the work's going to happen. So make sure I'm doing everything in the manner I've been doing the rest of it. Focus on EQ, then space, then loudness. So for this, we're going to start doing what I was talking about. I'm going to pull this down a little bit because I've been making tracks pretty bright recently, and I don't want that. So if you make tracks bright, what you're doing is you're not giving yourself as much headroom. I had one of my friends, Nostalgia, actually mastered a track, and he was saying, hey, the more you have in that high end, the harder it's going to be to reach the professional level of loudness. So I'm trying to make him a little darker. And I know there was a lot of issues in the mid and the side with these. Yeah, so a lot of this is in the mid. So, I mean, a lot of this is in the side. So let's pull that spread down like 30. That's better. Okay, so now we're going to unfreeze this, which will probably cause a huge issue, but that's okay. Okay, so this is going to be intense because it's a big rack of a synth. So here's the high. So let's see what's going on in there. Oh, and actually, before I move on to that, I almost forgot. So I got the EQ. actually, I forgot something here too. Let's do an EQ on this vocal bus. Sorry guys, gotta backtrack. Make sure you follow a list. That's what I'm doing. If you don't, then you forget stuff like I just did.
And I see, is there something there for me? Pulling back the reins, letting go, stars fall.
Okay, and then I already did a glue on this, but because there's other pieces to it, well, nah, we're just going to put a wave shaper on it to give it some loudness.
Stars fall at my feet, keep me grounded as I reach higher than I see. Is there something there for me? Pulling back the rain.
So 12.
Stars fall.
What about when it hits here?
One page at a time.
So we're hitting at 10.
Something tells me.
Still hitting at 10. Yeah, 10 should be fine. Okay, so turn on soft clip. Output's gonna be -10, and we're gonna add some drive.
One page at a time. I'll show you my true colors. And no, I won't apologize for the fire in my eyes. Let me show you my true colors.
We're gonna do it again.
All my life, one page at a time. I'll show you my.
And I actually think that's the right amount of sparkle on it, so I'm gonna toss a limiter just to give it a little bit more. So let's do output of 12, and then we'll do output of -10 here.
One page at a time. I'll show you my true colors.
And then wave shape, even though, so soft clip should roll off the highs, but I've just started using soft clip, so just to confirm it's doing that. Yeah, it does. Okay, so not even needed. Okay, so back to where I was. So ARP, we're gonna add some perceived volume to it. Wow, there's a lot of stuff on this. I might not need it. It's already got a saturator. Let's see. Yeah, so there's a lot of low in that. I think it got added by the saturator. So now those toms are too quiet. So let's add a limiter. Hopefully this doesn't destroy the dynamics too much. I'll have to revisit that. My ears are pretty close to shot. So, same here, 16. And there's some nasty frequencies in there. I think I picked out most of them. That's a lot better. I bet this all disappears in mono. Not bad, actually. That's pretty good. Cool. Okay, I actually have 10 more minutes now. And that's got some nasty pokey frequencies in there, so let's address those. Okay, once again, 16,000. Okay, let's find my nasty frequencies now. And there's a lower one in there, too. That softens it a little bit. That's okay, that's the high. And this is the same, it's got some pokey frequencies in it. I think the reason why they really are poking out strong and there's some nasty frequencies is because there's all, yeah, these are all have some FM to them. And when you do FM, you get cool bass sounds, but you also get some issues with frequencies poking out too. Okay, let's see if we can pick one more out. Cool. Good guess. Whoa, that sub's got distortion on it. We don't want that. Why does the sub have distortion? Okay, but the sub channel doesn't. There's just a high portion of the sub. I'm fine with that. There's some weird clipping happening there, though. So what's going on with the operator? Ah, that's the issue. You know what? We're just going to reset this. And what we're going to do is we're going to set it to there, and we're going to do some, we're going to do an octave. And then we're going to do an octave in a, I think it's an octave in a perfect fifth. So I have a nice little handy chart over here, semitones. It's going to be 8. So it's going to be, I think it's either 798 semitones or 587. Let's try 798 in the fine. So now you see that I brought in some nice harmonics. What's adding that little chirp? Now this sub's real hot because I added all those oscillators to it. So let's pull it down, 25. Yeah, my ears are completely shot, so I think I'm gonna have to call that a day. Make a note of that. Spatially, it's fine. How about loudness wise? What did I put on it? It's got OTT on it. Cool. Got a reverb, blue compressor, saturator. Okay, yeah, that's all fine. So stopped at. Okay, so in 15 minutes we have a album stream for Wh1tcomb. So check that out. It's going to be super cool. It's going to be a preview and I believe commentary for his new album. And he's going to tell you all about it. And if you haven't already, hit that follow button. We are 2 follows away from being 400. If you could help us do that, that would be awesome. Thanks for tuning in, and I will be back doing this same time next week from 6:30 Central Standard Time to 8:30 Central Standard Time. And I think that next week I'm going to be working on a bass house track. So I'm done with this track. Everything else I'm going to do on it, I'm going to do off stream. So thanks for tuning in, and go say hi to Wh1tcomb and all the other crew with that interview. Have a great night. Peace.